transmission.
Hey Overlord, it's me, Dreg. I know it's been a while, but I got sick. I don't think it was, but it was still pretty bad. And at work, they started dumping more responsibilities on me. A couple months ago, I watched a video by one of my subscribers. At least I think he's one of my subscribers. Anyway, he made this incredible little build. The build really inspired me, so I decided to make one of my own. I'll leave a link to his video in the description below. I start my build by dismantling a Nerf gun. I picked one up from the shop a couple months ago. One of my viewers left a comment. He said he didn't like the Dremel noises, so I made this video completely without it. Are you happy now? I wanted the front of my build to look like a gun, or a giant cannon, so I cut the back half of the Nerf gun off. I wanted my build to have a cylinder, like a revolver, but massive. I didn't know what to do with these holes where the Nerf bullets went, so I put these beads in place. It looks okay, I guess. I glued these cheap little plastic beads over the wooden beads. I slept on it for about 24 hours. Then I ripped them off. I realized they looked like trash. After the cylinder was in, I glued it shut. Then I started working on the rest of the body. See, here it is. I left this in as proof. I'm angrily ripping those beads off. But then I replaced them with pony beads, so whatever. I used some foam to cover up the bottom end of the spice jar. A trash oatmeal box to make little straps and other designs. I'm using another spice jar for the cockpit, but I didn't want to use a Dremel to cut them off. Another piece of trash cardboard to cover up the janky hole. I welded it in place using superglue and baking soda. The other day I went to a luncheon. Yes, my job requires me to go to luncheons. Don't judge me. Anyway, I got a goodie bag. In it was this little red egg with some putty in it. I threw the putty away and kept the egg. Half of the egg makes a beautiful looking cockpit. Some more strips of trash cardboard help sell the look. I wonder what my coworkers would say if they knew what I was doing in the goodie bag. I'm using this fidget to bridge the gap between the two spice jars. I've used this fidget quite a lot. Well, not this one, but other ones of the same kind. Anyway, I'm running out. Replenish my supply of little fidgets. A cheap pencil sharpener with a piece of trash to cover up the holes. This piece of trash is from the Nerf gun from earlier. I'm going to repurpose it. If you take a piece of foam and press it down over a void, you can see the outline of it and cut it out very specifically. I'm taking a piece of foam and covering up the void over this piece of trash, but I didn't like how it turned out, so I ended up removing it. I'm sandwiching one piece of foam in between another piece of trash to help the pieces of trash glue together. With the main body done, it's time for the legs. If you watch this part over and over again, you can see my feeble man hands shake with exertion. Off screen, I drilled a couple holes. Now I'm using super glue and baking soda to cement this wire in place. Maybe 2-part epoxy would have worked better, but that requires planning and forethought. In case you haven't guessed, bending the wires to a very specific angle is hard. Plus, you can never get the wire completely straight. It looks all janky and crooked. But you can cover the wire with beads and little bits of straw that covers all the jankiness. I went to a part of the store I've never been before. You know where all the hairbrushes and combs are. Anyway, I found these. I think they're hair clips. I thought they'd make the perfect legs for my little mech. Off screen, I drilled holes and it fit perfectly over the piece of wire. In this shot, the legs are not even glued in place. They're just held there by friction and the weight of the build. Glued in place, I went to a thrift store and bought this thing. Sorry, little monkey, but your sacrifice is my gain. I know, technically he's not a monkey, he's an ape, but who's keeping track? I ripped open the clock to take all these little gears and things out. As I mentioned before, I didn't like this little piece of foam. I ripped it off and replaced it with popsicle sticks broken at jagged edges. I wanted this piece of equipment to have a very specific function, a purpose. It needed some sort of satellite dish, so I made one out of the clock's fake bell. I figured out that by speeding up the recording of the build, it requires less editing on my part, and it's easier. So, enjoy. At this point of the build, I'm just trying to cover up all the work. Look like it's functional and useful. Did I ever tell you about the time that this old exploded at night, little bits of face goo all over? We had to completely burn down the house. Luckily, insurance didn't look into it too closely, so everything worked out fine. As I was building this, I came up with a little bit of storyline to help it fit into my universe. I'll share it later on during the money shots. If this section of the video is a little long and boring, I'm sorry. I got really lazy and I didn't want to edit anymore. And I believe the name of this product is diamond dots. They're used for diamond painting. You don't need any particular color because you end up painting over them, but I like the silver black. Makes me think of rivets and it makes me happy. You can buy a little stylus. It's supposed to make applying them easier, but I find just a normal cheap crayon that's sharpened to a fine point works just as well.
Building complete. painting.
I started out with a brown wash. Later on, I painted over it completely, so this was just a total waste. My wife wanted me to paint it green, and like the little boy who can't figure out how to spell banana, I didn't know where to stop. If that joke went over your head, let me explain it. BANANANANANANANANA. This song that you hear, I'm kind of proud of it. It's an anagram. It is played the same forward as it is backwards. I took a bit of sponge and a lighter shade of green, and I was just going to make like some chips here and there, but again, I didn't know where to stop. After I completely killed the paint job with a light green, I went over it with a little bit of black and followed the same procedure. I topped the black with some gunmetal gray. Then I topped the gunmetal gray with some straight silver. For the cylinders, I painted it gunmetal gray, and then with a sponge, I modeled on silver on top. With the leftover gunmetal gray, I painted all the straps. For the cockpit, I layered on several layers of just straight silver. I wanted to tie the whole thing together, so I made a wash of the burnt umber, lightly covered the whole thing with it. Off camera, I made a rust color, applied it to very selective places. Then to finish it up, I made a completely black wash and just hit some highlights. After this, it's time to move on to the money shots.
Money shots.
As I was building this, I was thinking about its story, its function, how it would fit into my universe.
No.
This mech is more or less the sheriff of the gang, keeping law and order in the gang and around the territories that is held by the gang. I can see this mech being used to patrol the borders to make sure that other gangs are not encroaching on the territories held. It can also help relay the signal from the communication tower to help increase the signal and to make the signal go further. I guess towards the end of the video is a customary time to ask you to please like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. What was your favorite part of the video? Did you like the build? Did you like the paint job? Did you like the voice work, the music, the narration, or did you think it all just needs to burn? Either way, let me know. Hey, Overlord. Let me know what you want me to do with the squirrels.